The United Nations has declared Sunday, September 21st, as International Day of Peace. It's a time to think about resolving conflicts around the world, but also about conflicts that are closer to home. To tell us about the celebration happening that day on Boston Common are two of the organizers from St. Paul AME Church, Reverend Rodney Dailey, and from the Friends Meeting in Cambridge, Ian Harrington. Thank you both very much for being with us.
Yeah.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.
Rodney, talk about how you got this started with Ian a few years ago.
Well, actually, Ian was already doing a peaceful celebration or a peaceful demonstration on Boston Commons for International Day of Peace, and so he reached out to us and said we'd like to collaborate. We think that more people than us, and more Christians than us, are interested in there being peace in the communities, and so I was intrigued by that, and so I took the initiative from St. Paul's AME to go and meet him, and then it all began from there. The International Day of Peace is one that is all over the world on that day. But the goal is to have peaceful demonstrations going on all year long until that day, and then you celebrate again. And so our hope is that, that this International Day of Peace this year, this is the 5th year. So I've been involved 4 years, and he's been involved for 5 years. And as co-chairs, we've seen it grow. We believe that this year we'll have a lot of churches and different denominations come out and realize that without prayer and without consistent connecting into the spirit of individuals, we cannot expect that that they will be even introduced to peace, because there's so much violence all around. As we were talking just before we began, that you could be a good kid and end up in a situation trying to protect yourself because of fearful of getting shot or hurt or what have you. So,
Ian, I know this is an International Day of Peace, but what made you make that first connection and reach out to Rodney?
Well, the Quaker meeting is a very small denomination, and we would hold a vigil or demonstration on the Common. We do every year on Good Friday, and we did it the first year. And just this very small group, and it just does not attract that much attention. And we wanted to make the event bigger and attract more attention, get more people aware of what it is we're hoping for to happen.
One of the concerns is not just from you, but we've heard it from other organizations concerned with violence prevention, is that you've got to break the cycle of violence. What do you see in that exactly?
Well, once again, it certainly speaks to the spirit of an individual. We've always, through gang peace programs, through street peace programs, through programs that are out there now working, have always been trying to stop the violence. And in the process of doing that, if you think of football, there's someone trying to tackle someone, trying to, stop something. And then if you still think of football, there's an offensive side that comes on and deliberately tries to make a touchdown. Of course, the other team is trying to stop them. And so we think in order to break the cycle of violence, from what I've seen over the 20 years and so forth, is that we have to help instill within the spirit and minds of our young people peaceful solutions, peaceful ways to resolve things. But as long as they're surrounded by in a violent pool of or opportunity or guns are available and people are trying to hurt each other, then it makes it very difficult. But I think no matter how difficult it is, we have to do it. We have to teach individuals that peaceful solutions are better than anything else. You can communicate, you can talk about it. Everybody doesn't have to get shot because there's a conflict. There's going to be conflicts. And I think that cycle of resolving things with violence is what we talk about when we talk about breaking the cycle, the generation of solving issues through violence versus no talking. And now not a lot of people talking, now they're texting and they're sending emails and what have you. And so it's going to be even more difficult because, not a lot of people are talking. People are reading other folks' expressions and they may not even mean what they look like. And then all of a sudden there's some violent thing going on. We know that it's all about inside, that we can bring the peace. The peace is in us. We have to decide that I'm going to resolve this in a peaceful way. I'm not going to argue about this. I'm going to try and bring about a calm solution. And that's going to be tough because the world is at war continuously. But we know that we rely on a power greater than us. We rely on God. We rely on our spirit to connect with a Holy Spirit that has power. Now, for a person that doesn't understand what I'm talking about, they think I'm talking foolishly. But at the end of the day, if you woke up tomorrow morning and there wasn't enough air to breathe, you're not going to call 911 because 911 is not going to be able to put the air back. Or if you woke up in the morning and it never turned day, you're not going to call 911. Or maybe some people will, but at the end of the day, we know that they can't fix it. So we lean towards the power who can fix it. And we've deliberately want to ask God in a multiple corporate powerful way to send the peace angels to help us to change the minds of young people, to teach what they need that can be sustainable, to allow their pathways not to be littered with violent opportunities, so that whatever they do learn and try to practice, they don't have to resort back to picking up a gun because you taught me to be peaceful while I'm in my classroom, that's fine. But as soon as I go out in the community, it's a mess.
Yeah. Ian, I think guns or no guns, I think we're all somewhat susceptible to those moments when the anger takes over. So I guess what's the advantage of us coming to an event like this on Sunday? How can that change things at least a little?
Well, I think we are hoping the event will be an example of the beauty and joy of peace. That rather than being in a place where you're battling over something or disagreeing about stuff, this is a place and time where people are together enjoying each other, enjoying the dance, music, song, stories. And so what would be possible if we did not fight each other and did not battle each other? And I mean, if we all instead enjoy being together, this is what life could be like.
Rodney, what about things that are being planned for the
Yeah,
event?
and in addition to what Ian is saying, that there are organizational tables actually at this event to sort of show that there are organizations that are moving in this direction. There's the domestic violence table that shows different ways that you can connect with them so that you can figure out different ways to have peaceful opportunity in your home, so we don't have this public display of women getting knocked out and stuff like that, what have you, such as in the Rice situation or what have you. But we believe that many of the people are coming to celebrate that are already teaching young people, calm and peaceful ways to resolve conflict. And so what we hope is that people will come and see, that media will come and view, and that more people will see that there is a movement of peace going on. Not just a one day of celebration, there's a movement of peace going on. And it's going on all over the world. We'll be connecting on that day with a peaceful demonstration going on. We'll have silence for about 5 minutes because all across the world there's the Be Peaceful initiative that is actually having a silent moment. So you can imagine, is it going to be quiet somewhere in the world, for a moment? As well as just these organizations and communities all across the world are involved in the International Day of Peace on that day. It happens to be on Sunday this time, so we believe that a lot of churches, and it's at a good time between 2 and 4, so a lot of churches will get out of church and come on down and pray for the city and pray for the community and sing. There'll be choirs singing. There'll be together. The Sufis will have how can I say?
Dance for universal peace.
A dance for peace, where
Yes.
you can totally become involved. And like I said, there'll be tables, and there's this magical wall of poems and pictures that elementary kids and middle school kids have drawn and written poems that we've gathered, and they've sent them in. And we just think that this is the runway to the rest of the year. So it's not just today. And towards the end of the event, we'll be walking to what we call the Peace Park, which is on the other side of the State House. It's a park that many people don't even know it's there. It has stones that represent youth and people who have lost to homicide in the city. We want a similar park to be on the corner of Quincy and Blue Hill Avenue in Roxbury. But until that day, we're walking over, and we're going to pay our respects and have a small ceremony in that park at the end. So we think it's a great opportunity to do good, to be a part of something special, versus some of the other things that goes on the Boston Commons. I think a couple of days ago, people were down there smoking weed or something.
But this is something you could bring your kids to and feel it's a good thing for them.
Right, and the right thing.
Ian, you've seen this grow over the years. How does that feel?
It's very encouraging. It's that more and more people are involved in peace and are learning what other people are doing to spread the peace, and also it seems to be an opportunity for people who are working on bringing the peace to the community to meet each other, to see each other. And another thing that's really special for me is the coming together for a number of people who, when they say peace, they think of international peace, and bringing them together with the people who are emphasizing peace on the streets, and because there's a distinct connection between those two big problems.
I'm sure they both affect each other. And finally, just a little bit of time here, Reverend, but we should let our viewers, we should remind them exactly what time this is happening.
It's from 2 to 4 this Sunday the 21st, and it's going to be on Boston Commons, right around the Park Street Station. And that's really it. From 2 to 4, you can come earlier and help or network, or you can come in the middle, whatever you want to come, but I'd suggest you get there early. We think that a lot of people will be there. And I just want to say that, one of the concepts that we stand behind is that we really believe that darkness is just the absence of light. And that the same way violence is just the absence of peace. And so as we pray in our own homes for our families and our homes, we can take a couple of steps out to the sidewalk and pray for the community and bless a block. Yeah.
Thank you very much for being with us, Reverend Rodney Dailey and Ian Harrington.
Thank you.